If the system cannot consume data beyond 20 characters, so you can put a limit to it, 20, 11, 10. So, whatever the data beyond that number will be automatically trimmed by bug day, and it will not be sent over. So you can do that. If some of the fields are required by other system and you want to put a check in bug day itself that if some value is required by the system and some employees who are not having this value configured, so you will start getting an error for that worker in your integration. That this field value is mandatory and which was not available for this worker. So this worker will not be included in the output. So you can send this required field as well. So once we create all this field attributes, and we run the integration, we get the output file and the user says he does not want a middle name. So can we? Is there a way that we can edit the field attributes and delete whatever is not needed? Yeah, you can come here and uncheck. Oh, just uncheck. Just uncheck. And from the next time, this will not be loaded. I came across one of the scenario, probably. Yeah, it was not that easy as discussed, but maybe I'll just look back and ask the question. Sure. So, whatever field which is selected by you, first of all only the field selected by you will be enabled in your output file. So these are all the defined fields for that specific template, right? Yeah, for the get workers, the worker template. Core connector worker. These are the fields which are supported by this core connector worker. So if there is any other field other than mentioned, we have to create a calculated fields. Correct. It has to be on the worker business object. Just like if you have a report. Same as report. Yeah. Oh, got it. Yep. So you choose your field as per your section. So, and something which is not there in your section, that means you are done with 2 sections that you have configured and you did not find the field that you were looking for. Then you can save it. Go back again. Go back to your Configure Integration Services. Choose any different section which you think this might contain your data. Come again here in the field attributes. Go to that particular section that you have chosen and see if that field is there. If you find your field, well and good. And whatever section that you are not consuming any data, then it's better to uncheck them in the services section itself, so that they will itself not populate here. So the status data section will give you the information like if the worker is active or not. What is the active status date? What is their hire date, original hire date, the reason for them to be hired? So there, and all about the status, this thing, staffing event, what is the most recent staffing event if it was a hire, a change job or a termination time and date first year, all these which are kind of related with the status will have these fields here. I would like to have one more. So in here, if you see, I don't have a field. So I have a requirement to get a business title field. So if I go ahead the no matches form, I don't have the business title field here and of course in the personal data section. I don't even think that it will be there. But if you're not sure you are new, then you just go back and search. So I don't. I'm not able to find any field as business title, but I have a need to include the business title field, which is not available here. So for now, I'll just click OK and have these fields saved, whichever I have created. I'll go to my integration again. please. Okay. So I'll go to my integration system. I'll come again. Integration services. So I'm assuming that my business title will be there in my position data section. So I'll just go here and enable the position data section, and I will click OK. So now I'll go. My section is enabled. I'll go again. Integration system, field attributes. So now I have my third section here. Then here I'll see, I got my business title. This is what I wanted from here. So every section supports one or the other field mapping services. You can choose if you want. Then I'll click OK. So this is how you have chosen your field attributes, which are required to be included in your output file. Now I have some fields which are not supported by my delivered field section, and I need a calculated field to be there. So I have created an overwrite service for that here. Now, how do I configure the calculated fields in my overwrite service? Just below the field attributes section, you would have seen a configured overwrite field service. So you come here, configure integration, field overwrites. So your overwrite will be supporting you with two things. One is for your eligibility criteria. Define the eligibility service. Because we have chosen, I think it was mandatory, we have eligibility service, and then your overwrite field, overwrite service. It will come in the same section. Overwrite section. Eligibility works as a filter for your integration. So by default it is on worker. So, whatever the calculated fields or any delivered condition you have for the eligibility criteria to your integration, that means this is the population decider of your integration. What needs to be included? What needs not to be included? So any calculated field that you have, you can, or any direct field that you have, you can call it here. That will be your eligibility. If you do not have any eligibility at all, then you can just type, is true? And it just to is to any true, whatever you want. That means everything is included, just to have, because this is mandatory. So you can just define anything. Otherwise, if you have a genuine condition like only USA workers or location from a particular location hierarchy or a company hierarchy or belonging to a particular cost center, or with a mix of combinations as well, but only one field will be accepted here. So you may have, if you have lots of condition, then you may have to create one calculated, true-false field, which you might have multiple conditions, and then you can call that single field here. So, whatever is the output of that particular field, yes or no, based on that, your worker will be included or excluded. So this is your eligibility criteria. Then comes your field override service. So in your field, over said the skeleton that I was telling about, whatever you have, skeleton created, placeholder created for your overrides will be coming here. So if you have one row created, it will be one row. If you have 2, 3 rows created there in your override, then you would have that many rows here. So we had just one. So only one is available for me to configure. And here is when you will call your calculated field. This is my manager's email field. I've called here as the calculated field. So you can create it first and then call it here. And you click OK.